All right, Sky Masters. Well, speaking of Sky Masters, I call the channel that because we are all Sky Masters, but if I ever refer to myself as a Sky Master, this is why. I am testing the game out right now. Every time that the game comes out with a new version, this is something that I do, and I thought this would actually make a cool video, and this is why I kind of have a understanding of the game probably a little bit better than most people do, because this is the kind of things that I do. All right, on a little side note, anyone can do this test on any system. You don't need a PC. You can just go into creative mode and just lay down a whole bunch of parts and kind of test this out for yourself and see what differences that you are getting. You're not going to get the same results as me, but the percentages difference should be around the same for everybody, I would imagine. So I thought I'd make a cool video on this because it seems kind of interesting. So what I do is, what I'm doing here is I'm shoving a whole bunch of pyramids in the game. This is something that I found out, one of the pieces that I found that had the least amount of vertices on it, so it's one of the least complex shapes within the game, or within like modeling too. So I mean, these things have very little lines, and in the game it's not very textured. The textures and animation plays a big part. These seem very simple, so this is a piece that I've chosen to be my test piece across everything. This is my piece that I measure everything against. So as you can see, I am forcing a whole bunch of these pieces into the game right now, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to see how the game acts when I go throw these in there. They're just regular old pyramids. I'm not doing anything. I'm not scaling them. I'm not doing anything crazy to them. I'm just shoving a whole bunch in the game and making some kind of a shape that I can go in here and look at. So when I go into the game, I can go, all right, well, they're all here. Because I have my full triangle shape. And this is at 3,876. So I think I'm going to get away with a few more. I think I'm probably hit this one more time, and then we will just spin this way. So what I'm looking for when I go into the game is, big rectangle shapes. And I have 4 of them right now. So when I go in there, I can tell if anything's missing or if I can't see it, if it's not rendering them all in, and then I'll be able to tell. So we'll jump out of the game and go back into it and see what's going on. Right now, I'm at 5,166, and you can see this down here on my bottom right-hand corner of my Blender page here. You can see that it says 5,166. So I know exactly how many pieces are in here, and I can go back into the game and see what's going on. I think maybe I will do this one more time because I'm having I have a feeling like this is going to be okay, and let's go ahead and push it. I want to see this how this is going to act here. So let's back this on up over here. We know we have well, they're missing little stupid pieces right there. I'll have to keep that in mind, but you'll see that anyway. If I see that little bit missing, I'm not going to really count that as a major upset there. Anyway, we are at 6,456. 6,456. All right, we're going to go ahead and export this and throw this into the game. We're going to go into the game and see how this acts. I'll go ahead and delete that. We're going to go ahead and paste that in there. And then I'll see you in the game. Guys, we seem to be doing okay here. Let's let the game load in here and let's take a look. We got one full panel there. Our bottom panel is looking good. The side panel is looking good. That back panel is not all the way loaded in, but let's go ahead and get over into the proximity of it and see it load in here, which I imagine that it does. The shooting star. Alright, and there it loads in. Let's see if we have everything loaded in at once now. So we got a full panel, a full panel, a full panel, and a full panel. Alright, so this is pretty successful. I mean, there was some pop, but that's about normal because I wasn't really close to it. So now that we're in proximity, we're doing okay. Well, let's see what the build limit is, and that's the whole point of this. Alright guys, for this next test, we're going to step it up a little bit. We crashed at the end of that last one, but I want to try to put these more in the same proximity so I don't have to have a render competition. So these are just going to go straight up in the air, and we have stepped this up to a 6,000 even on the triangles, or the pyramids, excuse me. So let's go and jump out and see how this acts in the game. Alright, here we are. We've got a pretty nice stacking them up on top of each other and making sure that everything's in the right area seems to be the key. And there we go, we crashed. All right, well, I don't know what to say about that. I mean, we did crash at the end of that one. That could be a lot of different reasons, so I'm not really quite sure. I can speculate on a few things. It could be because of the card. I did have my Blender open in the background. These are not usually issues that I have within there. Even so, if it did crash because of that, or regardless of whatever the final results were, the results is that this is a lot different than it used to be. I used to be able to shove about 12,000 pieces into the game, especially these things here, and have it just stable. Actually, I think it was like 17,000 of these is what I have in my original one a long time ago. I think that was around Next, I do believe. And I do still have the copy of Next. I can actually make that comparison, and we could do this. But let's get out of here, and we're going to do some other little tests here. So why this is going to go ahead and delete there. What I want to do now is maybe put in some of the newer pieces and do some scaling test, because this is another thing that happens when the game, especially within blendering, there's a lot of different pieces act differently depending on how they're scaled. And each piece might have its own limit, so not every piece will be the same. So let's just say here, I'm not a new piece. Let's go for something that's something we've had in here before. I want to actually go with an animated piece here and see how many that I can get in. All right, there we go. I am looking for moon pools, so we're gonna grab this moon pool here, and let's do just a couple. This is just for testing purposes. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this back and we're going to duplicate this, and we're going to start moving it in a line and scaling it. And we'll let me grab both of these, and let's turn this. Let's go ahead and let's rotate this way. We'll have it go straight up in the air. That seems to be the best way to test anything out. So it's all in the same proximity, the render proximity. All right, we're going to do this. We're going to just keep on going bigger. We'll go ridiculously big here. Now, I've seen these things super huge, and I've seen them underground, and I've done all kinds of different things with these. So this is a good piece for me to test because it's one of my favorite pieces. Now we're getting into just redonkulously big, and they're kind of overlapping too. So I mean, I'd probably expect some some issues from this. So I'm actually going to go into the game and let's see how this acts, and then we'll do some other weird things too as well. All right, and as you can see, the moon pools are looking pretty stable. That's all of them right there, and we've got a pretty stable that pop me up. It's very stable. Awesome. We can actually come in here and throw in a lot more stuff, I feel like, because my frames are pegged out. So moon pools are stable here. Well, some of the animation there is kind of messing up, but I think that's because they're stacked on top of each other. So some further study is needed, Sky Masters. Alright guys, that was pretty successful, and you're going to think, like, that was only 9 pieces over there, Sky Masters. But we really went gonzo on those dials on these last two. I mean, they were just huge. And we seen some animation drop-offs from this one, and it might be because I sandwiched them really close together. And maybe if I pull these apart, we could have some differences. But there's definitely some wiggle room here to do all kinds of stuff. I could take this and double it and spin it and do all kinds of different things for building wise, and I would feel comfortable with that test. But we're not going to do that. We're going to move on to our next test, and we're going to keep on doing some more scaling things here. Zoom in on our little base computer down here, and let's go up and see some of these newer parts. And let's gonna pick out some, we're just gonna randomly pick out some parts and line them up in a row, and then we're gonna duplicate those and resize those in a row, and maybe even change colors and things like that. Let's see what Charlie has in here for those options, and we'll go back into the game and see how they act. So let's go on and find some of these new things here. We have alloy structures. Let's say a skylight alloy roof. Let's grab this little thing here. This will be one part here. Let's take this up in the air. And we're going to pull this off to the side. This is going to be one of the cooler tests, I think, here. Stay with me, folks. You're going to like this. This is what we do over here to test the game, to make sure that we know where the limit's at, and we can compare them to older tests that we have done with the same, not the same pieces, but you know, I do this every time that some new pieces come out, so I can understand and see how much of a hit or better things have gotten, which they usually take a hit. So extruded alloy window, this will be next. Let's take this and let's line it up over here. I'll go ahead and get back on that. Let's pick out some twin alloy windows. Let's take that over here. Decorations, let's get some new draped canvas. Let's grab this little sucker. I seen that was on my radar. Cyclonic lathe. Let's grab one of these. Sounds cool. Dual-pronged antenna. My favorite. Don't have to beg me. All right, let's go to a kite pattern rug. Kite. Did I say kite? All right, let's grab a few more. Let's grab a shovel, in case we got to bury this game. There's a shovel and a spark plug. It looks kind of neat. That was on my radar too. I don't know what the heck that does. Sphere should be whatever. Okay, let's get out of decorations. Deployable technology. We could do some fireworks. That'd be really cool. We're not going to do that. Not yet. We'll do that on the next test. We'll do some cool stuff. All right, let's grab a few more things out of here. Should we grab some freighter stuff and throw it in there? No, because that doesn't belong down here. Let's keep the test rational. Large structures. Any legacy stuff? Lights. Is there new lights? There's some new lights, right? Power industry specialist. Structures. Timber. All right, let's grab some of this stuff here. Dried timber roof, extruded timber wall caps. Let's just grab whatever. I'm overthinking this a lot. And let's grab one of these and a timber roof, sky roof. Is that what I grabbed? Cool. And wall art. Let's grab a cartographer's edition and anomalous home poster. All right, so this is our arsenal of things that we're going to come in here and test in the game. Let's see how many things we picked. 15 items. It's a nice round number. What are these things sticking out there, and why are they out there? Poster. All right, let's get these back over into the group here. All right, so there's our lineup. Get everything a little closer here together. All right, so we're going to grab everything here, and let's make sure my base flag is turned off because I don't need this on. All right, so we're going to grab all these items right here, and we're going to duplicate them and move them over. And we're going to kind of do the same thing where we're going to duplicate these and then take them up and scale them. Oops. Let's go ahead and delete that. And we'll grab this top layer again. Now we're going to take this top layer and then we're going to do some color options here. I think we said. So we're going to take this and we're going to take this out this way. And then we're going to come over here to his colors, and we've got some woods and other colors. It's going to turn everything green on this for some reason. I don't know why it does this, but it's not going to translate that into the game. So we're going to go over here and duplicate this, and then maybe turn this to a stone red. Duplicate this. We're not going to resize this one this time, and we're going to go to a rust blue, And then we're going to duplicate this one more time, scoot it over, and we're going to go to a concrete yellow. And then we're going to take this into the game and see what this looks like and how it acts. And we've scaled some things up, and we're just going to see what happens. Alright guys, interesting test here indeed. As you can see, there's probably some further testing needed. I feel like a lot of the stuff is not quite here, and I don't know what is going on. So here we need to probably go in and find out, you know, there's something in here that's breaking some rules and laws, and there's something that doesn't like to be scaled up correctly. And then what you would do is go back in one by one, and do this. Maybe with your favorite parts. You can see like some of the graphics are only one-sided too, so if you spin back over on the other side, things just disappear. It's interesting to see how things work and have an understanding of what they do to these pieces and how they act in the game. And this is one way you can do it. And you don't have to have, you know, Blender or anything. You can just go into Creative on a dead moon and do this as a little thing of your own. You're not going to get the same results as I am, but your percentages of differences should be somewhere close to mine, I would imagine. So this is a great test to see what you can do with your game and your parts, and to see how your system handles everything. So you know what your limits are, and you know you can take them to those limits and then back it off a little bit and have something that's enjoyable in the game. Alright, man, that's how we test this game out, folks. Hit that like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.